Well, good morning again, good afternoon, whatever it is when you watch this. Thank you for your continuing company and your encouragement. Bless you. We're looking at Ephesians, currently chapter 5. We've kind of done the first bit. We're now on to the second part of Ephesians chapter 5, starting at verse 21. A bit that can cause a little bit of, what should we say, domestic difficulty. So verse 21 of chapter 5 says this: submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Now let's pause there. For today, that's all we're going to look at, because very often people want to jump forward into starting to look at the specific rules for wives and husbands, for children and for slaves and that sort of thing. But I want us to notice the heading, if you like, for this whole section. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. This isn't a power game that Paul's talking about here. This isn't some means of underlining or emphasizing or trying to convince people of the difference in levels of strength or authority or anything like that. This is talking about all of us, every single one of us, whatever our gender, whatever our age, whatever our work situation, every single one of us submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ. How will you submit to others today? As you live out what it means to be Christian, as you demonstrate what it means to be a child of God, out of reverence to God through Christ, how will you allow the authority of the wiser person, the authority of the more mature Christian to influence and impart their message into you? How do we submit to one another? Well, we do so out of reverence to God, reverence for Christ, because He is the one that we submit to. Ultimately, every one of us needs to submit to Him, and He, through His Spirit, leads and guides and teaches others, sometimes to be wise over us, to have authority over us. And if we're seeking to please God through Christ, then we are submissive to that. Now, we're not going into such a meeting or such a conversation with an attitude of saying, hang on a minute, I'm stronger than you, I'm better than you, I'm older and wiser than you. But we're listening for the voice of Christ. And in every situation, we'll come on to the details of those situations over the next couple of weeks, but in every situation, this heading, or this verse 21, acts as a heading for all that is about to follow. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Now, I don't know what conversations, what meetings, what discussions you will have today. I don't know who with. It doesn't much matter to me. But you know, you have an idea. So how can you and I submit out of reverence to the other person and allow them to guide us, but also allow our voice to guide them perhaps? We're submitting. It's a two-way thing. We're submitting to one another. So how do we allow God to kind of shine out of our conversation one with another? That's our challenge for today. Let me pray for it. Father, please help us to meet that challenge. Help us to know how we submit to one another, because ultimately we want to submit to Christ. Bless our efforts, I pray, Lord, as we seek to honour you. Amen. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and I'll be sharing more next Monday. Take care.